talking Bills and Packers, hot off the heels of our biggest episode ever. We're making waves here on this podcast.
Forever.
And fresh off DVDs and DVD and myself's excursion to Buffalo, to Orchard Park, Buffalo. What an incredible experience. Brian, we missed you terribly. Bills Mafia showed out in a big, big way. People keep asking me, how was it? And I kept saying my main takeaway is just the second you battle the relentless, insane traffic to get in and around the stadium, the excitement and the anticipation and the energy is palpable. People in Buffalo are stoked on this Bills team.
Same with people in Toronto. We are also stoked on this Bills team.
Yes.
If you cheer for the Bills.
It was a good time. I mean, I didn't see anyone go through tables. Neither of us saw anyone going.
We went looking for it too.
I was pretty adamant that I wanted to see someone chugging some mafia juice and going through a table, and for some reason setting something on fire. I was very at one point in my.
Did you see the guy that pours condiments on people like mustard, ketchup, relish, all that stuff? He stands on top of like an RV and just squirts mustard and ketchup at you.
Didn't see that. We saw a few people shotgunning beers upside down, like doing a handstand and shotgunning beers.
That's standard. That's just standard business.
I feel like that's table stakes, but yeah.
Incredible core strength to do that.
I know. Yeah. The fans there are something else. I also saw somebody who had an Italia flag, but the middle of it was a Bills logo, and I feel like I just need to get that for some reason. I need that in my life.
Yeah, you should hang it right behind you there. It'd look great up on that wall.
Right.
Yeah,
right on top of the Aaron Rodgers.
Put it over Rodgers.
Portrait. Yeah, exactly. And the Sudbury Wolves, shout out OHL fans. Yeah.
Yes. Anyone who's watching this in the U.S. is like, what's the OHL?
I know,
what is an OHL?
They have Sarnia and Plymouth. They might know.
It's true. It's true. Tight OHL reference DVD. Look at you.
I know.
So we got there about 4:00, and it was already. My favorite part was talking to some of the people who had the actual tailgate setups. And they're like, "Oh, we've been here since 8:00 this morning." Like, just buckled.
Yeah. Everyone's like 4 was enough time, but I was sitting there in the cab, like to Rob's point about the traffic, like my knee was just shaking. I'm like, we should have been there hours ago. Like, we're losing out on valuable daylight.
I just don't know how they do it. Like you started at 8. Like if I started that early, I would be KO'd before the game.
It's
like you'd be taking me into the stadium in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah. It was a long day. And like come the fourth quarter, basically, I mean, we'll get into it because that fourth quarter too was so gross. I was just like, I either need to leave or drink more. Like that's where I am in my life right now.
I just can't believe that. Like it's such a different, like the three of us being Canadians, it's such a different sporting experience than it is here. Like we just don't have that here. Like the diehard Bills fans and people with season tickets do that every Sunday, and they do it in December in frigid temperatures.
Yeah, like Buffalo is one of the coldest places to play. Like the wind, the snow, everything in that time. Like us in Canada, we go to like a Leafs game and we're just like, oh, where's my sushi? Where's this? Where's that? We just sit there nicely and clap. But at the Bills game, it's like it's a different animal.
We just buy our $20 beers and eat our sushi. That's hilarious.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just like I kept looking around going like, this is incredible. Like this is honestly, it's infectious. I'm so jealous. Like the America does sports so well.
They do their high school sports better than we do most professional sports up here.
Yeah.
Which is
my favorite was when we were talking to some of the fans there, and like DVD and I being Packers fans are like, oh, this is going to get ugly today. And everybody's like, well, I don't know. They were like you last week, Brian. They're like, I don't know. I still don't trust Aaron Rodgers. And it's like, you have not watched enough Packer football this year if you are sitting here worrying about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it was.
He did have a great touchdown pass there in the end, though, to make them cover the spread. So that was like old school Aaron Rodgers, that pass.
He did, but let's just say that the rest of the game was a little lackluster. Like that second quarter, especially. I was watching and I'm like, I'm gonna go get some nachos now. Like this is the point of the program where I go to the bathroom and get something to eat.
So once we entered the stadium, the atmosphere in there is electric, and as DVDs was just saying, like it was all Bills in the first half. It was all Bills.
Yeah.
But Brian, I've actually been waiting to talk to you because, there's a lot of people who, and us to a certain degree, who have already crowned the Bills, like maybe not Super Bowl champions, but like the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. But they let the Packers hang around in that game. And I think that was a bit concerning.
And that was my concern before the game. They sometimes played. I'm not saying that the Packers are like a really bad team, even though you guys are, but they played down to their competition, and it bothers me sometimes. These red zone interceptions, those need to stop. Like I know it's garbage time. I know you're winning by double digits, this and that, but red zone interceptions cannot happen. You would have easily won that on the spread if you just ran the ball and didn't even throw it in the fourth quarter. Let's stop doing this nonsense. We're trying to be too cute with it. The Chiefs, they were too cute with it a few years ago. Now we're being too cute with it. Let's just get back to basics. Like the first quarter, they're running the ball the whole time. I'm like, can you just please do this more often? Every play on the first drive was a run play. Yeah. And I was like, we're getting positive yards. We're getting the runners going. Now we got Naheem Hines coming in. Let's just start doing more run games, and let's get better at that. If you can't get the run, you're not winning a Super Bowl. I can tell you that much, especially if you're throwing INTs in the red zone every other game. You're not going to win the Super Bowl. So let's correct these things and let's get back to business, and let's just pummel teams we should pummel. You know what I mean?
Yep, totally agree. DVD, your takeaway.
I'm just fed up. I'm like, I wish I could say something super insightful, but even after like how I know you were saying off the hop too before we jumped on, like they did nothing at the trade deadline. It's just they're going to have to work with what they have, and what they have ain't much. I mean, so we'll see. And this weekend is going to be pretty telling. Like if they lose against the Lions, I'm not suspecting a loss, but
the Lions can put up points though. They put up
that's
points.
The thing. I'm like, part of me is a little bit nervous. And if they lose on Sunday, I'm kind of done.
One last thing on the Bills, and then we'll jump into the Packers and their infuriating trade deadline. Brian, this team needs to learn what the Chiefs needed to learn a few years ago and did eventually end up learning: killer instinct.
Yeah.
When you have a team on the ropes, deliver the KO punch.
Yeah, put that shit away.
And the Chiefs had to learn that, and they did eventually learn that. And they do it now all the time. They beat the crap out of teams all the time now. So I just think that, it's such a cliche thing to say in sports, but people always talk about learning how to win.
Yeah.
And I think the Bills need to learn. The Bills know how to play well and dominate, but full game, full four quarters. Put your don't let them back up off the mat.
It's not even that either. Like without those INTs, like they could have had such a massive lead where you take Allen out for the fourth quarter. That's what I more want to see. I want to see let's pummel them for 3 quarters. Let's pull Allen out. Let's pull the starters out and let the secondaries have their time. That's why that's how we'll stay fresh for the playoffs. If we keep doing this and keep teams around, you're gonna burn yourself out.
Now, let's talk about the trade deadline. A busy trade deadline in the NFL, particularly in the NFC North, where we saw an interdivisional trade with the Lions trading TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings, and Chase Claypool being traded to the Bears from the Steelers
for a second round.
And all these rumors were the Packers were in on Chase Claypool. It was later reported that the Packers offered the exact same compensation, but the Steelers decided to go with the Bears, with the reason being that they felt the Bears second rounder would be a better pick than the Packers second rounder, to which I'm saying, well, you just gave them Chase Claypool, so I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case anymore.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of counterintuitive.
I guess Chase Claypool with Justin Fields in their mind is a safer bet than Chase Claypool with Aaron Rodgers.
But who's looked better in the last 2 games, Fields or Rodgers?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's Packers fans are very frustrated, and quite honestly, I don't blame them. The Packers have never been a team that goes out and makes big splashes. So it's not like a precedent they've set, but this year felt different because as we discussed last week, last year you bent the knee to Aaron Rodgers and you gave him an extension and you paid him $50 million. In doing that, you kind of are saying, we're all in with you. And I understand he had back-to-back MVP seasons. I understand that what we've seen from Jordan Love, the little we've seen, hasn't really been that encouraging. But it's like, why this whole thing about going after certain receivers, like Jerry Jeudy, apparently they called the Broncos, and what the Broncos wanted for Jeudy was just too rich. And it's like, okay, but you're kind of all in. Like, I don't understand. When Rodgers retires, we've got lots of years of mediocrity ahead of us. So I don't understand, like, you're kind of all in with Aaron Rodgers. So why don't you push all your chips into the middle and get him an elite wide receiver and just try that? It just doesn't make any sense why you would make this move with him and extend him and sort of say, here we go. 2 years, Aaron Rodgers, and then go, well, we don't want to give up draft picks to bring in Jerry Jeudy. It's like, what? You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, that's not going to help you in the short term at all.
Yeah.
And like Jerry
I don't
Jeudy
understand.
is elite too. Like he's the only reason Russell Wilson's making any sort of touchdown passes.
Yes.
Like he would be a good piece.
He's
Same
at
with Claypool.
six touchdown passes I saw today, and he has 12 bathrooms in his home, so he needs to score 6 more in order to get up to the number of bathrooms that he has in his house. That was a fun fact.
We'll don't worry. We'll talk about Russ and his doing his working out in the aisle of a plane on the way to.
He's a different specimen.
Everybody else sleeps, eh?
Yeah,
that guy. Can I ask you a question? Do you guys think? Let's just talk about him now. Do you guys think it's a shtick, or do you think he really is this huge dork that he comes off as?
A massive dork.
I think he's a huge dork, big time.
Yeah,
and he's not aware that people are laughing at him. I think he's like, "This is we're all just riding together." It's like, no, you're a laughing stock, bro. Let's ride.
Yeah.
Like, you're so embarrassing.
And do you think it's like he feels like his really cool and popular wife makes up for the fact that he's kind of a dork? Well,
Sierra was popular, like 20 years ago with her song? Like, what, 2004? Yeah, Let Me See You, 1-2 Step.
I know, that's a banger. I think she's so popular, isn't she?
Ludacris in that video too.
I think Brian singing 1-2 Step is the current front runner for the Instagram clip.
Yeah. I know, right? Well, with his head bob, he had like a whole situation going on.
That was a banger of a track back in the day, though. Little Brian was rocking hard to that.
Little Brian or old Brian. You mean a banger of a track yesterday while you were rocking to that at work?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's a big loser, and it's great. It's hilarious.
He's a big loser.
He's a big weenie. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's just like his quotes are so cringe. It's like, bro, like, are you not aware that it's just
no, he's not.
I guess not, because it's calm. I love it though. I hope he never changes, because this is like, I wake up and I'm like, what has Russ said today? I need to hear what he's saying.
Yeah, he won't change because exactly, he's self-aware. He's kind of like Phillip Rivers when like he just kind of said whatever he wanted on the field, like to the other players. And it's like, you realize you're mic'd up, bro. Like, you're saying all this like crazy shit out there.
He just gets off the plane and he's like, yeah, I'm talking about how he knows how to defeat jet lag, because he got up and did jumping jacks in the aisleway of the airplane on the way to England.
And if you actually go through the timeline of how long they were in the air based on what he said he was doing, it's like, so you slept for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got on and I watched some film, and I think you guys are right, because he doesn't, there's nothing tongue in cheek about what he's saying. No. It's like, he's genuinely like, this is what I do because I'm all in and committed 24/7.
Was he always like that though? Like I just don't remember him being that.
There's a whole timeline about about if you talk to someone who's like a real Seahawk fan, there's a whole timeline of like with the Legion of Boom, and everything changed after they threw that interception in the Super Bowl, and the team started to disband, and Russell's relationship with Sierra started becoming more prominent.
Then he was a born-again virgin or something like that.
Yeah, he started getting like weirder and weirder, and the team started like getting more and more irritated with him. And listen, like a huge storyline this year with Russell Wilson is Geno Smith.
Yeah.
And how good he's been in Seattle, and how good Seattle's been able to operate with him. And it's like we all kind of had to, or I don't want to speak for everybody, but like I think a lot of people, myself included, kind of were under the impression that like Pete Carroll was the problem. And it's like, no, Russ was the problem.
Pete Carroll looks like one of the best coaches in the league right now. Like bringing Geno Smith back from the dead, that's something else, because we've all seen him play before, and this is a totally different guy. And Richard Sherman was saying too, like it's tough because you can't actually contact Russ. He was saying this on his podcast. He's like, we'd have to go to his manager to get a response from Russ and your teammates. Imagine you're in a new system like Denver, and you're like, okay, talk to my manager, guys, and let me know. That's not a good locker room.
Not at all.
I also heard that Russell Wilson has an office in the stadium in Denver.
Oh my god! Why would you need an office? You're a fucking quarterback. Let's just watch him film and throw the ball.
Does Aaron Rodgers have an office? I feel like
no.
Okay,
no,
I made that up.
Which is saying so. You just took the words out of my mouth, DVD. Like if you're a bigger diva than Aaron Rodgers, that's hard to do.
Yeah. I was like, for some reason, I thought he might have had one, but the fact that he doesn't and Russell Wilson has, where's he going to practice his 1-2 step? It's probably just a room with like a mirror,
in the office.
like a
in the office.
Exactly. It's not an easy dance to do. Let me tell you. So
no,
you
it's
got to
not.
work on that.
Yeah. There's 3 steps to it. There's the 1, the 2, and then the step. Most people forget.
Yeah,
Common misconception.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I just want to only listen to like 2004 music now. This is bringing me
We just
back.
got off on a tangent about Russell Wilson and Sierra and the 1-2 step.
She had another song, I'm sure she did. She had a whole album, I would imagine.
But that's the only one I remember. Do you remember Chingy? Remember that rapper Chingy back in the day?
Yes.
The Holiday Inn?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
We're just unlocking memories in my head now.
that was a great song too. Wow.
Yeah, fantastic tune.
That's a good plug. Talking pop. Do you guys talk music pop, or is it just video pop?
Just video pop. Unfortunately, although my sister, my co-host on that one, would totally be down to talk Holiday Inn by Chingy.
Sounds like there's a crossover here.
Yeah, crossover episode. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about the Packers and the trade deadline. It just is what it is. We kind of got off topic a bit there. Like another huge well, I wouldn't say huge, but like the Bills make a deal picking up Dean Marlowe. How do you feel about that, Brian?
I like it. I'm more interested in the Naheem Hines trade because the running back position,
Naheem Hines, that's right.
The running back position is where I've been focused for this team. I'm good with everywhere else. It's just
I'm just so jealous of these teams that are like, let's try and win.
Yeah, that actually did something at the trade deadline, which is why there's a trade deadline to begin with.
Now, to be honest,
the
I
Vikings...
was hoping for Kamara, but I think that was just the Saints were just dangling that in front of everybody. Ooh, come ask for Kamara, please.
Yeah.
The Vikings, I think, like the Vikings going and getting Hawkinson and making a trade within the division, like goddamn. Like, listen, I think the Vikings, the
frauds.
North has already been settled.
The frauds.
No, but the North has already been settled.
Yeah.
Like the Vikings are going to win the division. I don't trust Kirk Cousins in the playoffs.
No.
They're still a good team, but I think if they're going to run up against an Eagles or a 49ers, I don't see them doing anything. But I admire them. I admire them for being like, let's just go. Like, this is a year where our arch nemesis in the division is having a down year, and it's pretty like they're not out, but they're down, and they're not catching us. So let's go all in.
Do you think Jefferson's like the best wide receiver in the league? He's
I don't know.
He's making these catches with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. That's pretty impressive.
Well, look,
but
dude,
is that
Cousins,
why it's impressive? Because
that's why it's impressive to me.
Yeah. Like, but
'Cause,
that's
Brian,
what make him seem like a good.
Kirk Cousins cooks his steaks with tinfoil on it. That's impressive.
I've watched
That's a
enough
fact.
Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is not that bad of a quarterback.
Whoa.
I've watched
Oh,
enough.
Have
okay.
you seen him in prime time? Oh
whoa,
my God.
whoa.
Hold on. Kirk Cousins is not that bad of a quarterback if you're talking about just quarterback fundamentals.
At 1
Kirk
p.m.
Cousins' problem is right here. That's Kirk Cousins' problem.
Because you're right.
That's why he can't. Kirk Cousins can throw a very nice ball. I've seen him do it a bunch of times. But his problem is up here, and that's why he struggles in primetime games. And that's just that. So I don't think like it's that. I think Cousins is a fine quarterback. It's not like he's out. It's like if you were saying, oh, Jefferson's out there making these plays with Justin Fields, I'd be like, okay, well, that's Justin Fields can't do anything.
I mean, he's
But
looked pretty good recently.
Kirk Cousins on paper and fundamental wise is a more than capable quarterback. His problem is between the ears.
You're right, because his stats are very good. Like he's got great stats. Well, Houston's leading 7-0 right now.
No.
Over
there
the
you go.
Eagles,
One
let's
of-
go, baby.
Yeah.
We all know
rare-
how I feel about people who associate with the Vikings, so let's just
Yeah.
leave it
Oh
at
yeah.
that.
Sickening.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
DVD.
another thing,
Irrational
Houston.
anger. Houston is upset by 7. Wow.
Yeah. No, Houston, Brandon Cooks wants out, has said he wants out. Like you're telling me you can't, Gutekunst can't pick up the phone and get Brandon Cooks out of Houston? He was linked to the Packers, but it's like, no, we don't want to give up our draft capital. It's like, you just got a ton of draft picks for Devontae Adams. You're the Green Bay Packers. You're swimming in draft picks always.
And they wasted a first-round draft pick on Jordan Love. Like, why are you concerned about that?
Not only did they wait, they traded up to get
Yeah.
Jordan Love, somebody who would have been probably there in the second round, like irregardless. You could have gotten
Easily.
someone great and Jordan Love if you wanted to. No one's going to pick up a player who had 17 interceptions in his last year in college.
yeah.
Oh, don't get me
I
started
just-
on Jordan Love. He could go play for the Vikings, and I can loathe all of them all together, all at once.
Yeah, I don't know. This is something we'll talk about when the season's over, but I haven't really thought about this much, but the Packers got the Raiders' first-round pick for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
That's looking like it could be a pretty high pick.
You guys may have won that trade, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? We may have won that trade just because Derek Carr stinks.
He's horrible. And, like, Devontae looks so mad. He's
Yes.
pushing camera guys over. He's not happy.
Like, I don't want to jump ahead, but that Raiders-Jags game, just like the battle of the garbage, I'm very excited to see, if I'm being honest.
I just wonder if you know, like everyone all the pundits keep talking about what a quarterback rich draft this is. It's like, do you just say we've seen enough Jordan Love? It's looking like we're gonna have a pretty high pick with this Raiders first. Do we take another swing at Aaron Rodgers' successor? Because for all intents and purposes, he's only playing one more season after this one.
No, I like to what you said. It's like if you have him one more time, it's like build around him. Fuck it. Don't get a quarterback. Get somebody who you can throw the ball to. Like, I don't know. That'd be my opinion of it.
There's good wide receivers in Tennessee coming out. I know that much.
And it's like,
but
QBs can always be busts, though. It's like everyone says, it's a rich draft year for quarterbacks, but it could be like an RG3 or a Menzel or somebody who's just going to be a bust.
Look at Trevor Lawrence.
I just don't know if drafting another rookie is the right answer. That's my thing.
That's fair. Like you want like more of a veteran on the side. Yeah.
His whole problem, like if you wanted to flip that pick and go get a stud, sure, but like his whole issue is that these are kids and he doesn't trust throwing the ball to them. Like that's been the whole issue all season. So I just don't know if drafting a wide receiver is the answer. Anyways, let's look ahead to week 9, shall we?
Week 9.
There's a lot of teams on bye again. I hate these bye weeks. I understand you need to rest and all, but it's always
there's not a ton of games.
It's always the fun teams that are on bye weeks too.
Yeah.
Like the New York Giants, I want to see them play again. I'm actually I like watching them play right now.
Can I ask you guys a controversial question?
Oof, spicy.
I don't know if it's controversial, but whatever. What do you think of this season so far? It hasn't been great.
It's a little bit of a
it hasn't
lunchbox letdown. Like it's just yeah.
Other than
So
watching the Bills, I watched the red zone and I'm just like, where's all the action? Like where's all the scoring?
But you're right, Brian. Like I will say, I really enjoyed watching like the Bill, particularly Josh Allen. Like I am rooting for that guy, like probably the rest of America is, to be honest.
He gets my heart just like pumping through my chest, just the way he plays football.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes it makes Philly scored again. But yeah, sometimes it makes me feel nervous watching him.
Yeah.
But you're right, Rob. It's been low scoring. It's been like
there's a lot of teams that aren't very good. Like there's a lot of teams that are good. Like perfect example. If you sat down at the beginning of the season and we went through the season, you would look at Sunday's 425 Rams Bucks game and be like, "Ooh, that's 425 Rams Bucks." But now you're like, both of these teams aren't very good.
Yeah, but like Cooper Kupp's kind of questionable to play, so it's like if he doesn't play, what's the point of watching this game?
But even the teams that are good, like to be honest, I don't really care that the Eagles have a perfect season. Not like I cared when the Pats had their crazy run with Brady, like when they were 8-0 or 9-0. Like I was actually a little invested in that. But for the Eagles, I'm kind of like, okay.
I agree. Like
get a perfect season. I don't really care.
The only reason why I care is because I just think the greatest spectacle on earth would be Bills Mafia against Eagles fans in Arizona, for the Super Bowl. That's the only reason why I care.
And I think I'm just seeing them as like an enemy now. So I'm just looking at them like, please lose a game. Like, get out of here with this nonsense.
Yeah, like if you look at if we usually pick our game of the week, and it's like you look around, it's like, what are you guys picking? It's like Colts Patriots, ugh.
Yeah.
Packers Lions, ugh.
Yeah.
I like Seahawks
Chargers
Cardinals,
Falcons.
I do like Seahawks Cardinals.
That's why I'm like, I'm
Smith
going with
dominate.
the Raiders and the Jags, just because I'm like, this is going to be a hilarious game to just watch, like two high school football teams.
You're right, yeah.
Ryan, to my point, I said earlier, if we sat down weeks ago and charted out the season, you would have looked at Seahawks, Cardinals and gone, oh, the Seahawks are going to be terrible with Geno Smith. It's like, that's the way the season has gone team-wise.
And the Cardinals are so weird. Like, they're the most bipolar team I've ever seen. And you know what? It's November now, so Call of Duty is out. So I think this is why they're not doing too well recently.
Yeah, look out. Exactly.
Look out. Okay, so you said you're going with Seahawks, Cardinals. DVD says she's going with
Raiders, Jags.
Raiders, Jags in the Stinker Bowl. Yeah. I'm gonna go with. Oh my god, this is ugly. I guess Bills, Jets, but we're not allowed to pick
Titans,
Bills.
Chiefs.
That's why
Titans,
I didn't pick
Chiefs
them.
might be a decent one.
Yeah, Titans, Chiefs. Like I guess.
I know that's one of those.
The Titans are 2-5-2 teams.
Let's circle back for a second to Bills, Jets.
Yeah,
I want to dominate Zach Wilson in his stupid face. I hate that guy.
Well, they've sort of come to they got humbled in their last game.
Mr.
The Jets,
and it is back. Von Miller, get on his ass, please, because this boy he's got such a punchable face, and I just hate him. But I mean, they're in the same division, so let's.
His mom's friends don't think he has a punchable face.
No, they think otherwise.
I just need to keep a tally of all players that Brian hates. This is great. Every week, I feel like you have a new person that's on your shit list.
Usually, they're in the AFC East.
Yeah,
usually, but
You can't ever hate Zach Wilson though, because he lived every teenage boy's fantasy.
Like in the summertime when I heard that story, I was like, "Attaboy, Zach." But now that they did okay, I'm like, "Get out! I hate you."
What story did I miss? Okay, am I not remembering?
Wait, he was sleeping with his mom's friends,
and then his ex-girlfriend got mad about it and started posting about it online.
I did not know this. Did I live under a rock?
And all the bros were just like, "Yeah,
yeah." Oh my god. I did not know that.
You missed that?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I know. I'm a piece of crap. I clearly don't have a pop cultural life here.
But it just shows you that NFL dominates the news even in their off season. That story was massive.
Yeah. And did she break up with him? How did that go?
So yeah, she broke up with him, or or he broke up with her or something.
It'd be funnier if she broke
up.
up with him. That'd be amazing.
I know, but I think he broke up with her, and she was like really mad. So she started posting on her Twitter like how he slept with his mom's best friend, and everybody was like, "Yo, that's sick."
Yeah. So like fist bump emojis.
Yeah. Everyone was like, "Oh, Zach."
And then all the players are just like, we all trust Zach Wilson. He's a dog out there. So it's like he really got the boys going with that story.
He's a dog. Oh my gosh, I know I'm going to be on like the rabbit hole of the internet right now, looking at all this when I get off.
Well, Brian and DVD, I know we just talked about how lackluster this Sunday is, but I know you guys will be tuning in to Ticats and Alouettes at 1 p.m.
Wait, what?
In the Eastern Division semifinal.
Yes.
What day is that?
Sunday. Well, I always find
Precisely.
CFL. The reason why I bring this up is because I always find the CFL so ballsy, going toe to toe with the NFL like this.
Stupid move. Like just put that on a Friday or something like that, or a Saturday.
Put it on Saturday.
Yeah. I don't think they have any.
But there's college football.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Or put it on. I don't know. But yeah,
Put it
directly
on
against the
Wednesday
NFL
at 4 p.m. You'll get.
And
the
it's
same
not
amount
the
of
Grey
views.
Cup game. Like Grey Cup maybe, but like, is this just a divisional round? What
Not
is this?
It's the it's the CFL. It's the Eastern semifinal. So the Tiger Cats are playing the Alouettes, and the winner will play the Toronto Argonauts
next
in the East
Sunday
final.
too, on the 13th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, the Argonauts are that good?
Yeah.
So the Argonauts and the Blue Bombers both have buys.
The Blue Bombers.
Yeah. So they're waiting for. So the Argos will play the winner of Ticats, Alouettes, and the Bombers will play the winner of Stamps and Lions.
Those are some names right there, eh? What is there, like
It was so
7 teams in the CFL?
And then the winner of the
was
Grey
funny
Cup
driving,
will play the Raiders or the Jags
Yes.
coming out of the
Yes.
Stink Bowl this Sunday.
Wouldn't that be awesome if like the winner of the Grey Cup got to play
The worst team in the NFL.
the worst team in the NFL?
I feel
That
like they
actually
could
would
beat
be-
them at some points.
Yeah,
Yes.
that actually would be pretty cool.
'Cause
We should.
Chad Johnson, it was a pretty viral video. He was talking about like when he first went to the CFL. You remember Ocho Cinco, Chad
Oh,
Ocho
yeah.
Cinco, that guy? So he was like, when I first went there, he was like, I thought I was going to dominate the league, like run over these guys. And he's like, the first play, I was shocked. He was like, there's ballers up here.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, there's only like, 1,200 spots in total in the NFL, including the bench guys. So obviously
Well,
there's
and-
good players.
But also, like 30% of the team has to be Canadian.
Which is so stupid. What a stupid rule.
So you know what's funny is quickly before we get out of here, when my wife and I were in the Uber on our way to meet DVD at Orchard Park, the gentleman was asking us all kinds of questions about being from Toronto, and he was like, "Oh, I've lived here all my life, but we're big baseball fans, and so we've gone up, we see the Jays all the time." And then he was laughing about obviously being on the channel that we're currently on, that I'm a Leaf fan. He thought that was really funny, and then he's like, so is there a lot of Bills fans there? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, it's mostly Bills fans. You meet the occasional sad Detroit Lions fan, but like most people, it's like the Bills are their team. And he's like, well, the Argos don't do it for you? And I'm like, no, man, the Argos don't do it for me. And then he's like, oh, if there's nothing else on, I'll fire on the Canadian football. I mean, it's ball. I'll always watch some ball. And it's like, this proves my theory that I do think more people in America watch the CFL than people in Southern Ontario.
I didn't even know
Western
they
Canada,
played it on TV down there. When did this start
Yeah,
happening?
you can get it on one of the ESPN, like
You get it
2
on
or
like
something
ESPN
like that down
3
there.
or 4, and it's actually a pretty highly
Interesting.
bet on market in the U.S.
Yes,
Obviously, doesn't
really?
trump bigger sports, but
Yeah.
shockingly higher handle than you would think.
This is
Yeah,
blowing
and
my
I was
mind
like-
a little bit.
Yeah.
here.
Yes, and I was like, oh, it doesn't bother you? I'm like, I can't stand the 3 downs. I can't, like, all that sort of thing. And he's like, no, whatever. He's like, it's different. It's fine. He's like, we're up here. We're always down to watch football, and if the Bills aren't on and that's on, I'd rather watch that. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Wow. I'm like, there are people who live in downtown Toronto who would rather do anything than watch a Toronto
We probably
Argonauts
don't even know
game.
that the
Anything else.
Argonauts, like Brian, are good this year, and will be.
Yes.
I had no
You
idea.
probably don't even know that the Argonauts got a bye into the East final.
I had no clue. I didn't even know they could sell. Like, have they ever sold out that arena? I have no idea.
Oh yeah. BMO? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I went to them at the Rogers Center one time, and there was like the first
that was tough.
But like I know in this country, in Western Canada, the CFL is very, very big. But like in Hamilton, they love their Ticats. But like in the GTA, like nobody cares. And I've had this theory for a really long time that I bet you the TV numbers for Argos specifically are better, or there's more interest in the U.S. in places like Buffalo than there is here in downtown Toronto. And this gentleman who drove us to Orchard Park proved my theory.
That is so fascinating. I would never think that. And like the Ticats, their uniforms are pretty sweet. I like the black and the yellow.
That's basically like the Steelers.
We know who you'll be pulling for on Sunday then.
Yeah, man, go Aurora Tigers.
Yeah,
same uniforms.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. People dipped 5 minutes ago. We started talking Canadian football, so we might as well. So we
had them hooked in with the 1-2 step, and then we lost them with the Canadian football.
Yeah. It's just been the three of us talking to ourselves for the last 5 minutes, so we might as well close up shop.
Just blowing my mind with the CFL stats.
Yep. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button below. Spread the word. Tell your friends. We really appreciate it. If you're listening to the audio version, do the same. Leave a comment, little review. Every little bit helps. We'll see you guys next time.